despite the fact that I'm a very big fan of animated films, I had never seen Madagascar. I know that's a terrible confession, and there's no real reason why I hadn't seen it, except maybe because it was so well loved and so praised. I was kind of hesitant to watch it because obviously I was kind of holding it on a pedestal with my expectations. I was thinking this film is going to be fantastic. I don't want to be disappointed. I decided to watch it. I was not disappointed. I am really pleased that I finally took the plunge with it, and I really did thoroughly enjoy it. It's not instantly become my favourite animation. It's not even my favourite DreamWorks. But I do love Shrek. But I can completely see the appeal, and I really thoroughly enjoyed this. This was released, if you can believe it, in 2005. 17 years ago. And it's directed by Eric Darnell and Tom McGrath. And we have a pretty stellar cast here. We have Chris Rock, Ben Stiller, David Schwimmer, Jada Pinkett Smith, Sacha Baron Cohen. The list goes on. And the voice acting, of course, definitely reflects this. The acting in this is top notch. Everybody seems to meet their marks in terms of comedic delivery. And it is very funny. It's also a very interesting message, or discussion, I guess, because I feel like the film kind of advocates freedom for animals, but at the same time, it's not completely anti-zoo. And I think it's maybe sparking a discussion rather than providing any concrete answer as to what is wrong or right. But indeed, if you have interpreted it differently, please feel free to let me know. But it's all about these animals who end up escaping from the zoo. One of them, more than the others, wants to leave, but they end up being, well, they escape New York Zoo, at the zoo in Central Park, and then they end up getting sent away. Because the humans think, well, these animals have escaped. Clearly they want to be in the wild, even though they've been bred in captivity. But actually, only one of the animals wanted to be in the wild. The rest were out there to rescue him and bring him back to the zoo. But they get sent off to the wild, of course, to Madagascar, and it's all about them kind of coming to terms with this different environment and changes within themselves that are coming about as a result of being in the wild. And it's really fascinating. I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think there are a few reasons why it works. The first is that it is obviously quite an important conversation. I know that some people are completely anti-zoo, and I'm not one of those people, but I'm not exactly, in favour of animals in captivity. But at the same time, this does mention the fact that, a lot of these animals are born and raised in the zoo, and therefore to release them back into the wild would not go well. And we see that with some of these characters. Some of them adapt to being in Madagascar much easier than some of the others. So it's definitely an interesting thing to kind of discuss and look at. But also, it's just funny. And the characters work really well. Melman, voiced by David Schwimmer. Melman is a giraffe, and I particularly like Melman a lot. Melman is definitely one of the reasons I was looking forward to this, because even though I've never seen it, this was released when I was probably at the height of my watching of Friends. So I was very obsessed with David Schwimmer at the time, and was looking forward to seeing what Melman was like, and he did not disappoint. Do I have a favourite character? No. I don't know if Melman is my favourite. I think they're all brilliant in their own way. They all add something. And what's really interesting with the lion is that the lion begins to go through some changes, and it affects his friendships and the way he looks at other people. And again, it goes back to, wondering if animals who are raised in zoos should ever be released back into the wild, because they're not used to it and they may face changes that are uncomfortable or difficult. But generally, it is kind of balanced. I really enjoyed it a lot. It is very, very funny, very entertaining. It isn't the funniest DreamWorks, not the funniest animation, but I'd say it lived up to my expectations. If, for whatever reason, you haven't seen Madagascar, I thoroughly recommend you watch it. It's enjoyable, it's fun, it's funny, well animated, brilliant voice acting. Madagascar was one that was absolutely worth the 17-year wait.